Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, Mage Site. I'm Drew.
I'm Josh.
I'm Chris.
I'm very excited to be back. I'm excited to be doing this again.
Yeah, it's nice to just talking about Mage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we talk about it all the time anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just a microphone.
Now it's just into a microphone. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. In fact, we had to stop a conversation about Mage to come in here and have this conversation
That's true.
about Mage.
Yes.
That's very true.
And we were talking about spellcasting and merits, but we'll get into that later. That's deep. Deeper.
Nothing makes you feel more wizardly than arguing about magic.
That is very true. That is very true. Well, Chris, what is our topic today?
Each mage walks one of 5 paths. This is not a metaphor, but a description of the shared experience they have during awakening, which engenders a shared magical way of thinking. A mage's path determines the arcana which the mage has predilections for. Each path rules over 2 arcana, a gross arcanum that controls physical reality, and a subtle arcanum that controls a spiritual reality. Each path is also inferior with 1 arcanum. First, Acanthus, Enchanters and Witches. Ruling time and fate, Acanthus see reality as a movie and themselves as the writers and directors. They are inferior with forces. Next, Mastigos, Warlocks and Psychonauts. Ruling space and mind, Mastigos see reality as chains that bind individuals to an identity. These chains are wielded to control reality like a marionette. They are inferior with matter. Moros, Alchemists and Necromancers. Ruling matter and death, Moros see reality as a constant cycle of endings, transformation, and transcendence, something to be built, destroyed, and then rebuilt again and again in pursuit of perfection. They are inferior with spirit. Obermos, Thaumaturges and Theurgists. Ruling forces and prime, Obermos see reality as a perfect divine whole, the gods' operating system, and they have read the handbook and been given the keys. They are inferior with death. Thyrsus, Ecstatics and Shamans. Ruling life and spirit, Thyrsus see reality as a living, breathing song, a harmony formed by 2 worlds, the physical and the shadow. They walk between worlds and sing their own song as both shepherd and wolf. They are inferior with mind. For those coming into this from an RPG like D&D, you can think of your path as both race and class. It determines the mechanics of your character, how your character relates to the world, and how the world relates to them.
So, getting right into it, why is it called a path?
An awakening is experienced as a journey. Now, this could happen either while awake or asleep. Literally, like the mage going through the awakening begins to see things or interact with things that may or may not be real. And what is going on is that their soul is beginning to connect to the supernal. It's finding its way there. Because doing so requires going through the abyss, they are separated. This becomes a challenge. Though awakenings have always had a form of challenge, even without the abyss. The awakened is being guided through that by a force. They refer to it as the watchtowers. These are powerful, monumental things that exist within the supernal itself. They are part of it, but those experiences, those journeys they go to there, have 5 significant archetypes, 5 kinds of experiences. And the thing is that they experience the journeys, the challenges, the quests in the same kind of way. Their stories have the same kind of symbolism, the same kind of aesthetics, tones.
When you're saying that it's the Obermos every Obermost that wakes up to that path, as it's called, they have a very similar journey. Not the same, but a similar one. And it's different than the... What's the fairy called again?
The Acanthus.
It's different than the Acanthus.
Yes. The realities that they encounter match the path that they're part of. So Acanthus tends to see fairies, while Obermost tend to see angels.
So but
these are actually, in like a supernal sense, the same beings.
Yeah. So the way, like, a way I look at it and see it is each path. So they call them paths because each one. I'm going to start with the fairies because I like them. The Acanthus. The way they understand and see the world is their path.
Yeah.
They see it through time and fate, being able to manipulate and rewind time, being able to make things happen through fate. And going into the, what's the death one?
Moros.
And going into Moros, they're all about death and matter. So their awakenings would have more death and matter in them, however that might look.
It is common for Moros to have died.
Yes. Yes, that part of their awakening is that a lot of Moros's awakenings have them dying in some way because there's a rebirth. Although all of the awakenings kind of have a rebirth.
Yeah, but for the Moros, it tends to be literal. Like, I was shot, and instead of dying, I became a Moros.
Also, like, going along with that, like with the seeing the world through that magical lens of fate and time, or death and matter, or spirits and life, which is Thyrsis. Thank you. I have such a bad time with names sometimes. Sorry, my recall's bad. The path, like, it's a literal path that you kind of take through the abyss, because in order to get that shard out, in order to reach the watchtower, you have to go through the abyss in some way. And every watchtower has their own path there. There's a name for each of the paths there, pretty much. Like, they're what is it? Fastidia? Is that one of them?
No, we're talking about the realms.
Yeah, those are the paths, in my opinion. Those are the paths through the abyss to the watchtowers. They each go through them to get
the supernal realms.
Those particular supernal realms are connected to those magical paths, and you have to go through that particular supernal realm to get to that watchtower. I mean, that is the path. That kind of just clicked for me here, and I'm very excited about that.
Yes, the paths and the realms and all of that is all the same thing.
But what are the names? So there's the
Acanthus go to Arcadia, Moros go to Stygia, the Mastigos go to Pandemonium, the Obermost go to the Aether, and the Thyrsis go to the Primal Wild.
And all of their respective awakenings are influenced by those realms that they have to go through.
Yeah, it's why
to get to their respective watchtowers to get that shard taken out. And as it says in the book, then write their name in that book of magic.
Yes.
At that tower.
Yes, binding yourself to the supernal, even though you have to return to the real world. The fallen world.
It's kind of it is that connection to that watchtower after that allows you to pull magic from the ether.
So the people who...
I wonder if it has to help you get through the...
And remember, some people fail their awakenings. Either they don't write their name on the book, or they fail one of the tests that happen during it.
They can fail one of the tests that happen, or when they get to the book, they can go, you know what? I don't think this is for me. And then they fail their awakening.
I realized something, that the abyss isn't truly part of this exchange, because there's nothing within the things you experience which are from it.
I know. That's why I feel like, and this is kind of like something I just thought of here, sorry, you have more to say.
I'm just going to say, otherwise the abyss would stop it.
Well, that's why it feels like it's the watchtower and that supernal realm of
Yeah.
primal wild or whatever, that is, you're going through that to get to the watchtower. The watchtower is reaching down to you and you're reaching up to
Yeah,
it.
it's
and
a handshake.
It's helping you get through, surpass
Yeah.
the abyss for that moment
Yeah.
to get to it.
Yes,
and
correct.
then you have to go
Yeah.
back.
Yep. It reaches up as you reach down.
So which path do you take?
Or vice versa.
Do you go through the primal wild? Do you go through...
Well,
That's-
let's
What are
talk
the-
about let's talk about Acanthus. What
Yes.
kind of path would that look like?
Yeah. Okay. So
Honestly, for me, I keep going back, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or whatever. I keep going back to Alice in Wonderland and down the rabbit hole.
No, that's a good example of it. It would feel like something out of a psychedelic movie, something very what is his name?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that works.
That would totally work. Yeah.
I was
the way to get through that
thinking.
movie is to think of it that way. It's an awakening. Okay,
I was
can
thinking
do
Twin
it.
Peaks.
I haven't seen Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it's full of strange characters and tricksters and people who care a lot about their word.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely it's walking into fairy. I mean, so that's what the awakening is going to be: walking into fairy and coming back with a great treasure,
Mm-hmm.
full of odd happenings and goings.
Oh, and sometimes, and I think this is, I mean, maybe this is going too deep, but sometimes you can bring something back from the watchtower.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
The watchtower sometimes will give you a little gift. And when I played Spice, that gift was a spoon that I used as a wand to mix stuff, but it was a special spoon from the from my watchtower.
Well, you could because that is your Acanthus character, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you came back with a perfected silver spoon.
Yes. I love that character so much.
So let's talk about Mastigos then.
Which was Mastigos?
Mastigos.
Space in mind.
Thank you.
Mastigos. So that's the
Warlocks and
devils.
Psychonauts.
Warlocks and Psychonauts.
Okay, so Mastigos are their realm is called Pandemonium, and it's basically hell. Now think of it.
But wait,
Yeah.
they're mind in space.
Yes.
Shouldn't hell be death?
No. Especially when I go into details about this.
Okay,
Okay.
but Mind in Space is just perfect for stalking people.
Ugh.
Okay, so you've got
You're
to
not wrong.
you've got to remember a couple things about what mind and space mean. So it's about personalities and identities, but the thing is that can be all of them at once presently with you. You can every bad thing that anyone could possibly think or tell you, they're currently telling or doing to you. They're to all of their expectations that you don't meet. All of the
That's mind.
Mine does that, yes. All of the good things as well, but it's total. The way they feel and think about you shapes you, and you shape them back.
So, an awakening then. The path of Pandemonium.
Typically happens around an identity collapse. So a priest having a crisis of faith, or a con artist slowly losing his control.
Now that you mention it, it is reminding me. Okay, so this is my character. My character for our Let's Play game is a Mastigos. So I should remember these things. And because it is a death of identity and a death of their understanding of the world, their trust in it, their faith in it, her awakening stems from a absolute utter betrayal from somebody who was closer than almost anybody else could be.
Yeah.
And that breach of faith, that understanding that I know nobody, is what sparks her awakening.
Yeah, typically in the symbolism of the Mastigos, it ends when they're signing their name, they're typically forging it, like they craft something with it. The idea is symbolically that they're rebuilding their own soul. It's why their iron gauntlet is their symbol.
What's the fairy symbol?
Don't remember.
Oh,
It's
that's okay.
something very fairy-ish. I forget.
Probably. It's okay. So I can't think of an awakening that matches any media out there right now personally for Mastigos. Can you think of one?
Yeah, I was think of things. We mentioned a couple of movies earlier that I think give the good aesthetic of it. Also, other.
Well, what movies?
We were talking about Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, you think that's a good Mastigos one as well?
Sort of. The plot is inherently a little messy, but
That's why it was more like fantasy.
so the book,
Psychedelic.
psychedelic.
the psychedelic nature of it. Oh no, we mentioned that for Acanthus because of the fairy creatures.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's back up a bit. The book, in the book, they mention to think of a Mastigos awakening. There's a book out there called The House of Leaves. The House of Leaves is a psychedelic horror novel in which a family discovers that one of their closets is 1 inch off. And they go investigating a closet and to find it has an infinite amount of space beneath.
Okay, yeah, because they're about mind and space, and that one has a lot of space.
Well, that's very much on the space side, but the a strong part of that novel is about how way things are connected. So it's told in from the perspective of a guy who found it, who is now being going crazy because of it, and you stop the reading the manuscript about this house to start to hear him talking about other things he's doing. It's a dark awakening, sort of a drive in towards madness. So the way I would say what makes it an awakening is what they do at the end. What happens when they've totally broke down every voice in their heads to the point where they know exactly who they are and what they could be, and then to reforge themselves anew. And that nature of infinite mind, infinite space, infinite identities, but which ones are mine and which ones are others.
Okay. Now, that sounds like a very cool book, and I know that you have it, and you've read most of it. I don't know if you've read all of it yet. But I just thought of a movie, and I want to know if you think this is a good Mastigos awakening. Groundhog's Day.
No. That's a time movie.
Okay.
There is an element of mind in there, which is what you're saying.
I guess also because he has to
prove himself.
Becoming a good person and re-identifying himself. Okay, fine.
But learning to.
That actually is a good analogy for an awakening, though. But I just don't know if it has a Mastigos theme to it.
Okay.
Because that's honestly falls into fate time.
You're not wrong. I'm trying to think of another one that I would know that is a Mastigos. Because I'm having a hard time,
I find Mastigos fits a lot of real world religions pretty well. Culturally, when you... Sorry, I've talked...
a lot of crisis of faith.
No, well, in certain religious traditions, the important thing is the decision to know who you are and what you want to accomplish, and casting off the rest of your identity. There are traditions of not taking actions that you can't take back as a form of mastery, like killing someone or destroying something that will transform you to have done. Mastigos harkens to those types of cultural magical traditions.
Okay, let's talk about Moros.
Moros is for something that is so base, it is also so philosophical.
Is that the Death and Matter one?
Yeah. That's the thing, is that okay, so the book calls them alchemists and necromancers, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the mindset is about looking past your life to see divinity beyond it. Change, transformation, and transcendence are eternal secular processes. just different sides of the leaden coin.
Oh, because death, life? Although it's
No,
not
it's death,
life.
death and matter.
Death and matter are two sides of the same coin.
More like degradation and like a thing stops being one thing and becomes another. Just as to make something, you have, like, if I wanted to make a bow, I need to find a tree, maybe a very specific kind of tree, and I have to do a very specific kind of treatment. So that tree died and became something beautiful. It in turn will break and return at some point and transform from a tool to garbage.
Back to the earth.
Eventually consumed and whatever.
And back into a tree or whatever.
But everything goes through that cycle. Matter is constantly ending and changing.
Now,
the same thing applies to lives.
Each path is also associated with a tarot card. And I know this is going a little...
Sure.
Like, it's not exactly more in depth. It's just, more things to remember. But what are the tarot cards for Moros?
Death.
It's the wheel, isn't it?
Let me find it. Sorry. So, the world. Sorry, the world, not the wheel.
Oh, no, it's the wheel's the wheel of karma. The wheel is karma, so that's with the fairies.
Yeah, that's an Acanthus
That's
thing.
the Acanthus thing. Sorry, but it's the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the world is about endings and beginnings. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so the world's the matter part, and obviously the death is the death part in the tarot cards for this one. Okay.
And I also
All
think
right.
like the world, from the matter standpoint, kind of represents all of the
all the elements:
Yep.
water, earth, air, fire.
Well, the Greek element, sure, but also like the periodic ones too.
I don't know as much about Moros. It's not one of those ones I connect with. Moros and Obermos are the hardest ones for me. And Moros is because I don't connect death. Not just do I not connect to death, I've always had, I want to say, an abnormal fear of death.
That's not, there's no such thing as an abnormal fear of death.
I know, that's why I'm like, it's not abnormal. But I have a very visceral fear of death. It's not really something I feel the need to explore. It's another reason I have it's another reason I have a harder time getting into vampire, because I don't want to play something dead.
I would say with you, Drew, I imagine if you woke up as a Moros, you may have felt that beforehand, and then you face death, and then you now see things differently.
It would be an interesting one to try and play, to get more into, like, to try and understand that path a little bit more. But yeah, it's not one I'm as intimate with.
So we talked about their perspective on like transformation. I think the rest of that ghosts of the things that when something is transformed, it also leaves something behind.
Oh, well, awakenings. No. So we talked about types of awakenings for the other ones. What things can you think of that are a good representation of a Moros awakening?
You got shot in the head, and while you were dying, you wake up, and as a mage, you literally wake up in the morgue, but completely fine.
Okay.
That while you're asleep, you went on your journey, went to Stygia, which is their supernal realm, and did your thing, and...
It's true with that one, there's a lot of death involved. I do know that dying and being reborn out of that tends to be a very common awakening. I guess I'm trying to think of some representation in media or something of a Moros awakening.
Here's a good image for you.
Okay.
You know the Indiana Jones aliens in the Crystal Skull?
Okay.
Imagine those things being skeletons.
Okay.
That's the image I give you. A bunch of skeletons clad in magic armor or whatever.
Do you have to fight off?
Well, the thing is, like, from the Moros perspective, that's what you leave behind, your power and like remnants of your life, and it's all kind of hollow and dead, but like but that description of that is sort of what Stygia looks like. Think a landscape of monuments, and at the center thrones with carrying boned kings.
One that I was thinking of. No, it's not exactly media. It's more of a real person, but I think it still kind of works. What do you think of Rasputin? They tried to kill him over and over and over again, and they couldn't. It would be an interesting shadow name.
Sure, Rasputin is clearly an Obermos, but sure.
An Obermos?
He is a priest, one with power directly from God. He's a divine miracle worker. The thing is, like, from a Moros perspective, like, they build those things, those treasures, those jewels. Like,
okay.
But you still like work towards perfection, and then in the end you'll reach it. They are alchemists, so let's go into some actual magical shit. So like, let's Harry Potter hit this.
Okay.
Nicholas Flamel.
Oh, well, that's
the actual Philosopher's Stone.
Isn't Nicholas Flamel? I mean, okay, isn't Nicholas Flamel an actual person? I'm using air quotes.
Sure.
Like, historically, there is a man named Nicholas Flamel.
An alchemist, yes.
Yes, I mean,
who was said to who was claimed to have created the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
Now, if you know, but the thing is, the Philosopher's Stone is an actual thing. It's not just something they made up for the book. So the idea is that in the pursuit of alchemy, they can perfect themselves or perfect a item into something that is capable of being anything that you could possibly need at any time. The Philosopher's Stone should be capable of, if you needed a flood to wipe away your enemies, could do that. If you needed it to be a cup to hold your wine, it could be that. Whatever it aligned with your will and your needs. Now, the Philosopher's Stone is a metaphor towards this pursuit of enlightenment, and it is entirely a spiritual concept. But the thing is, that's very much in the presence of the Moros state of mind.
the Moros as the alchemist, which is one of their names.
Yes.
What about Inspector Gadget?
Okay, so some of the crazy stuff that you can do with matter is definitely Inspector Gadgety, because
Anything can be anything that you need at any time.
yes, definitely turn a walking stick into a machine gun, or actually a lot of the making things
I really
that
like
have
that one right
unusual
now.
properties, like a wall you can walk through. That's something matter does.
MacGyver.
Yes-ish. Okay, we're going to the concept here, but like MacGyver is...
Oh, that's a great shadow name too.
Okay, I still put him more along the lines of Fate, because like he just he happens to have the thing on him that allows him to solve the situation. I mean, it could be the same from a different perspective, right? Like,
Who's right? Out there in the comments, I want to know if you guys think that Inspector Gadget and or MacGyver would be more likely a Matter Mage or a Fate Mage.
A MacGyver legacy, I think, would be primarily Fate.
Okay, we got 2 for Fate with MacGyver.
Well, there's-
okay.
Secondarily Matter.
And secondarily Matter.
The 10th question's fifth legacy allows so that in a tense situation, you just happen to have the item you need to solve it. And if you, because it's a matter one, it literally appears in your pocket at the exact time you need it to.
Well, but isn't that like you're making it with matter? I guess you could do that. But I mean,
so that's it's a time and matter one. So to use the spell, you have to look into the future at an event that is dangerous for you, and then while the effect is ongoing, when that situation arrives, you have an item that will appear on your form to help you solve that problem.
Cool. Okay.
yeah, making it with matter, making the thing that you need with matter.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if we don't have anything else to say about Moros, we can go on to Overgross.
All right. Well,
The priests.
it's the angels, the priests.
Well, yeah, sure.
The angels are what you pull from the Supernal. Overmost are priests.
Well, and you know
Okay.
what? I totally. If you see as a mage, you see yourself as like an archangel or whatever. That's totally valid. I mean, we shouldn't, tell mages what they can and can't be, right?
True.
With MacGyver mages and all that.
Right, give us a
Or-
little spiel on Overmost. You.
Okay, so Obermos are mages that actually fall under a lot of traditional mysticism kind of thinking. A good example of a real world magic system would fall under this would be like Kabbalah. And Kabbalah has an understanding of the world as part of the language of God and different numbers and different words of different meanings. And if you can speak the right things, things happen. The key here is that the idea is that if you just know the secret code and you have the right spiritual foresight, you can do anything. That's how the Aether think of things.
Cool. So this is the other one out of the 5. This is the second one that I don't connect with as well. Part of that is the issue with Prime for me. I mean, it's just Prime is such a elusive concept to me. And I don't know,
it's not
elusive, but it also doesn't seem to have like a lot of uses. I mean, no, it has a lot of uses. It has a lot of uses, but it doesn't have a lot of uses outside of magic because it allows you to see magic and it allows you to break magic. But it doesn't allow you to create. I mean, okay, you can create a grimoire with it, but you also need matter. It's nothing.
No, you don't. You
a
can get a
hollow
grimoire with just Prime.
You can create a hollow.
You can create hollows. You can reorganize ley lines. You can.
But see, all of that stuff is like, I don't know. I guess I just can't find a reason why.
So you could.
It's a very arcane arcana.
Does that mean old?
I think
No, it means
that would be archaic.
abstract, sort of.
Yes.
And that's
Or,
that.
Complex.
That's exactly what I mean. It's the abstract kind of. I said it before. I can't remember what word I used earlier.
It's sort of top-down magical thinking.
Yeah.
Also,
You said useless earlier.
and it's
I did
kind
say
of,
useless,
You
but
did
that's
really
not
say
the word
useless.
that I. Oh, I did.
You just said you couldn't think of.
I used another word though. That I was like,
I
it was
know.
ephemeral. No, I can't remember what I used.
Ethereal.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, it's the thing about what
I don't know.
Prime gives structure to magic or allows you to do things with magic. Like making potions requires Prime. Making magical items requires
But
Prime.
that's kind of my whole point. Is that it only matters with magic. You know, like with matter, I could make a book into a cup. I don't
Okay,
know.
but matter only matters with matter.
Yeah. So here's
But see, life, I could make plants
Prime
grow.
interacts with
I could
every
heal myself. There's like, I don't.
Prime
it's just-
interacts with all of that stuff in its own way. So
True.
So for
See,
instance,
I guess if I wanted to have Prime to me seems like a magic that you'd want after you've gathered up all the other magic.
actually that's not a bad way of looking at it. The actual thing is Prime is about truth and authority, and that is what the Obermos are all about. They're equally high priests and
High Priestess.
mad scientists. They're because Prime has the ability to control others' magic. It represents truth and authority. So if you're stronger in that, you actually have power over other mages.
Forces is
which
intriguing.
really fits the priest concept of them being high priests of magic.
Yes. High Priest and Priestess. And I say that because if I do remember correctly, this one has 3 tarot cards, which are the High Priest, the High Priestess.
The Hierophant.
Oh, no, it's not the High Priest. It's the Hierophant. Sorry, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, and Temperance?
No,
Strength.
temperance goes to Mastigos.
Strength.
Strength?
Yes, strength.
Okay.
And strength. Yeah, and I think that strength tells you a lot about the personality.
Well, the strength is forces. And that one I do get. I do get the forces. And I would like to play around with that sometime.
I would say Obermos are the most traditional mages from like an archetypal standpoint. This is Gandalf in all of his qualities, both the more spiritual stuff that you see in the movies, as well as some of the fire tricks he plays in the books.
He brings the fireworks.
Sure, yeah, forces. I guess like the Doctor Strange type as well.
Yes, I see
Now,
that.
Doctor Strange is a lot closer to mage. I mean, we're dealing with sorcerer stuff here, but
Doctor Strange also sees the future.
yeah, sure. If you had Obermost with a little bit of time magic,
And most mages know multiple magics. They don't stick to their own, even if they know their own the best. What is a good Obermost awakening?
scientist goes out to prove his theory is correct, gets zapped by lightning, but instead emerges with knowing his theory of eternity is correct, and now has the powers of a demigod.
So
Almost even superhero-ish.
So are you saying in some ways, maybe, sort of, that Benjamin Franklin could have become an
There
Obermost?
is I believe in Occultist Anonymous, during a visit to Philadelphia, they meet a mage of that shadow name wielding that particular set of powers.
Perfect. Okay, cool. For some reason, I just had a vision of a mage in a hot air balloon. Now,
Sure.
would that be an Obermost?
What the heck is? Wait, I mean,
Why
that's
are they-
what? What? Punch it. Let's. What? Whoa, so.
I don't know. I
We
just
can cut that one out.
No. I'll try to answer that. Okay, so we know that this mage needs a hot air balloon to fly, right? Thing is that an Obermost might be able to power the balloon, but they can just control gravity and just float.
like
I
Doctor
think they're an
Strange.
Acanthus, and they cast Miracle to
What?
just make the thing fly. Like it was picked up by a gust of wind.
Nice, like an extra, like a spontaneous hurricane to
I don't
toss
think it
them
would
to
have
the
to be a
air.
hurricane.
The perfect gust of wind.
Just a
sure.
gust,
Yeah.
good gust of
Just
wind.
The right
gust of
gust of
wind
wind.
to
Hey, I've
get
had
it
a
where it's
good
going.
gust of wind take my breath away when I was a kid. Oh, I remember Adam played an Obermost,
Yes.
and his Obermost was
His
He played
Obermost-
in Moros, I thought.
No, he was his first character was. His second character was Obermost, but an Obermost that focused in mind.
and he had well, wasn't it that his flashlight was a
He had that was one of his was like his dedicated tool.
yeah, and his name was
Edison.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool one because forces, light bulb, Edison.
Yeah, scientists, inventors, that kind of spontaneous inspiration thing. I'd say Obermost are kind of they're the like most passionate fire.
Well, they wield fire.
Sure.
Now, Dr. Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein.
Moros, pure Moros. Dr. Frankenstein is so Moros. You just think about what he's doing.
Okay. Well, just lightning and all that
Okay,
and
to do the
He's using forces and
life.
matter and life.
Yes.
But death and matter are pretty clearly there.
yes.
Actually, I suppose
There could be some prime in there.
No,
too.
I suppose you're right. There's no there's
And you can do anything with fate.
Yeah. So it hits at the right time.
I actually, you know what? You're right. You can bring someone back from the dead with fate. One of the in first edition Mage, there's only really one adventure book that they wrote, and there is a archmage who comes back.
Archmage.
What?
Archmage. An archmage is a mage of arches.
Sure, an archmage who comes back from the dead with fate, and it's by crafting specific magic items that align with a modern person's soul. so much so that when that person gets those items, their soul is rewritten into the archmages. So that's kind of what it looks like when fate brings someone back from the dead.
Interesting. Cool. So we have one more.
Thyrsus.
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 Ah.
Thyrsus. I remember it because it's
Like thirsty.
like thirsty. And there's a lot of Dionysus connection to it. And
Is
I remember
thirsty in more ways than one.
Yeah,
it's thirsty in wine. And so, but it's not Thirstus, it's Thyrsus. I got it.
so which is actually the name of Dionysus' like wand or scepter.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah,
So,
I knew it had connections with
yeah,
him.
the Thyrsus is the path of animism and aesthetic thinking. So magic through sensation and through the like life behind things. So the Thyrsus is their magic is of life and spirit. Now this goes into a bit of the one of the other worlds in Mage, that there are spirits. All things create spirits, and you can talk to them. So like, and these spirits exist in a place called the Shadow, and Thyrsus see between the veil and create relationships with things. So you're talking about a man who has a personal gripe with his chair because he actually understands what his chair thinks of him. But they are also, they talk to animals and birds, and they see everything as alive and as a connected whole. Again, the traditions of animism and the life element definitely falls into how the body can change its perception and how you experience more reality by being different. And it feels very like very ancient magic, but also like very present magic. A character that kind of has a different relationship with everything.
The Thyrsus is the path that I actually connected to the most when I first started playing the game. And so it is the first character that I played. From a very, very, very young age, I naturally fell into a very animist way of thinking. I remember going to the store as a kid, and when I was looking for the toy I was going to get or whatever, I purposely end up picking the box that was a little dented or something, because all I could think of is how many times that box had been passed by because it was damaged and how bad it must be feeling by now. So I take it home so it would feel better. So yeah, I connected to that one too. And life, I mean, come on, it's a lot of, gardening to growing wings or saving somebody's life. One of my favorite things, I can't remember if I actually got to do this or if I just wanted to do this in the game, but using a grape as my mental connection and squeezing a man's heart until it popped.
Ah, that's fairly morbid.
Well, it was the Florida game. He was killing people. I needed to kill him before he killed other people.
That's awful.
He was killing the ghosts of children.
Well, he was
eating them.
He was killing children so that they'd create ghosts and eating them. He was getting children to commit suicide.
That's right.
Yeah, so then he could eat their ghosts. So I had to kill him. But I can't remember if I actually got to or if Adam did.
He survived you.
Oh, yeah, because we had to turn back time.
Because you went after the person who enabled him instead.
Yes. But anyways, I loved that. Being able to, there was so much I could do with life and spirit, and just being able to, envision that. I used so much food and water, because you use things in your spells.
Tell me about your character, about their awakening as a Thyrsus.
Okay, so it was a homage to my heritage. I'm very, very, very Caucasian. Okay. But I do have family that still lives on the reservation in New York, Haudenosaunee, and that's my mother's side of the family. And then my father's side of the family is very Irish. So my character was half Irish and half Native American, and they had an awakening in which it followed very much the story of the mother who fell from the
It was
tree.
It's like a Haudenosaunee tradition, right?
Yeah, it was the Haudenosaunee of the Sky Woman who falls, and it's not the exact story, but she was helped by the different animals from the different clans and stuff like that. Now, my family's Wolf Clan, but I didn't want to make her exactly me, so her clan was Turtle Clan.
Sure.
And she actually left her awakening with a necklace from her family that was a turtle that was re-imbued with supernal magic. I really enjoyed playing that character. I'd actually love to go back to her too. I named her Celine because she also had a connection to the moon, which is something that's very important to me. So she was very much an amalgamation of my family and my understanding of myself. I mean, I even have moons tattooed on my wrist because me and the moon have a special connection, like a lot of women and witches.
Yeah, I saw that a bit of the metaphor with the character, that your focus on the creation myth and the femininity involved was a way of you connecting with your femininity with the character. And I think there's also like the three moons.
The three moons is very Wiccan, very
there's
witchy.
But
the natives have the grandmother moon, too. So like it was bringing that into that.
But that just reinforces the femininity side.
That too. Yeah. Yes.
That's actually a lot of fun when you get into symbols, the way like one set of symbols connects with another. It's like, especially when you get to a shadow name, you really start to get like layered on symbolism. The character is fun.
It was fun. No, she was a lot of fun. I liked her a lot. She also had a familiar, which you can also choose. It could be like any animal that you want. Hers was I really like the idea of it being a poodle or poodle type creature, because it was this, it comes from one of my favorite TV shows, which is Murder, She Wrote. And there was a little bit, one of her episodes had to do with this like private investigator who used to be a football player turned private investigator who gets stuck with this poodle, but it's an attack poodle. It's a trained poodle. So I just loved that story, and I just thought it was kind of funny. So her dog was a poodle with a wolf spirit attached to it.
Yes.
And she was a lot of fun. I liked my poodle. She was a white poodle, and I named her Betty. If anyone gets that reference, please write it in the comments. Can we think of another Theursis awakenings that we can think of besides my characters, which is a wonderful, beautiful one, if I do say so myself, but any other?
I don't have any.
I think we're good.
Okay. I can't think of another one right now either, but yeah, cool. All right. That is the end of this week's episode. We will be back next week with a brand new episode on the orders that you can choose after you awaken. So look forward to that.
We're still working on the Let's Play, details to come.
Yes. Just, when you're trying to do a game with multiple different people, scheduling, it's always a thing. In the meantime, you can go to our Patreon and get all of our episodes commercial free, and our Instagram. Follow us, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.